Hello.
Hello, welcome to Voice of Pacific Y, and today we have Nega with us. Nega, could you please say hi?
سلام، حالتون چطوره؟ امیدوارم که حالتون خوب باشه.
Hello everyone, and I'm so glad to come back, and today we are going to share with you about first-time homebuyer concern. Like, what do we need to know as a first-time homebuyer, right? Nega?
So we're going to talk about what they really need to know as buying a home. If it's their first time, like different things, location and different things that they have to know, and we're going to go over it. Me and MC, we're going to talk about that.
Right. So to me, Nega, we're gonna share, right? Like to me, the most important thing when buying a home is the location. What do you think?
That's so true. Yes.
Yeah, you can speak in
So,
your
بهترین چیزی که هستش اینه که should we talk about, like, I think the look before, it depends if you're married or you're not married. If they're married, probably if they're not married, the location probably is not a big deal.
I see.
If they cannot
we have
afford.
to talk about it in detail.
Okay.
We will share more in detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So,
Go ahead.
So, بستگی داره که شما ازدواج کرده باشین یا ازدواج نکرده باشین. معمولا وقتی خب ازدواج آدم نکرده ممکنه که نتونه انقدر پول بده و افورد کنه برای خونه خیلی گرون یا منطقه خیلی بهتر، ولی خب وقتی که ازدواج کرده باشین دو تا آدم هستین که میتونین که دو تاییتون پول بدین و منطقه بهتر بخرین. ولی وقتی ازدواج نکردین خب باید یه ذره صبور باشین و از منطقه کوچیک‌تر و پایین‌تر شروع کنین تا یه پولی درنین بیان جای دیگه ببینین. برای همین ما می‌خوایم راجع به این صحبت کنیم که بهتره که منطقتون خوب باشه یا بهتره اینکه وقتی عروسی کردین بگیرین یا موقعی که چیز کردین بهتره که عروسی هم نکردین بگیرین و بعداً دوباره خونه رو عوض کنین.
So from what Nega just sharing, like it depends on what your status. Like if you are a single person, the location might not mean much.
Right.
You can live anywhere, but when you have a family, you have children, right?
Yes, that's true.
Then location is important because you want your children to go to good school, and then location
Right.
is important.
So I thought maybe because of they're not married, sometimes they cannot afford it. They can start in a small location or farther, then later when they get money, then they can upgrade it to a bigger place and a nicer area. What do you think?
That's very true, because different location have different price.
Right.
Like some maybe we look at the 1,500 square feet home, right? 3-bedroom, 2-bath. But at some location it might worth $1 million. Some other location it might worth $2 million. So the location, different home price.
Right.
So because depend on the location, meaning is it close to good school or bad school, right? So the location also reflect the value of the home.
Right.
So that's why Nega said you want to start with something cheap when you
Right.
don't have a lot of money.
Exactly.
And then you buy that, you leave it there for a few years, and then when you sell it, you have more money, you move to a better location.
Yes. So usually when you buy a home, you have to struggle when you're not married, but later on you can afford different things. When you have two different money coming up, then you can buy whatever you want. But in the beginning, you have to sacrifice and get maybe farther or a cheaper area, and then later on you can buy whatever you want.
That's right. And that's what most people do.
Right.
You want to speak in
Yes.
Farsi?
So بهترین کار اینه که همونجوری که گفتم وقتی که عروسی نکردین میتونین که یه خونه هایی بگیرین دور باشه ولی منطقه داره رشد میکنه و منطقه وقتی رشد کنه باعث میکشه که شما اون موقع پول درارین و وقتی که هم که عروسی کردین دو نفر هستین که پول در میارین و اون موقع میتونین اونو بفروشین و جای دیگه بخرین یا اینکه اونو رنت بدین و دوباره پول درارین ازش و جای دیگه دوتایتون وقتی که ازدواج کردین بخرین.
Thank you. But to me, sometimes, like when we choose location, right? The good location, the home price, it's stable and it's go up faster and it go down less. But for a location that cheap, it's not stable. The home price might go down faster.
Right.
And go up slower.
Right.
So it also affect the appreciation of the home too.
Right. For me, it's my hobby. Like I like to be in nature, so I prefer to be in a place that is close to the nature, and also I love to be in an area that is close to the shops. So I want to have the both ways, which is I want to be close to the nature, but I want to have my Costco, Trader Joe's, or Whole Food like few minutes away, like 6-7 minutes away, and I would like to be close to the mall because I have 2 daughters. They like to shop, so I like to drop them off and pick them up later on. So that's my dream place to be, and that's why I usually pick places that it has this kind of shopping and it's close to the place, but still I can walk, or I can walk to the trail, or I can bike. So it depends with your basically your what you like to do and your hobbies. Then you can pick the place that's the best for you.
That's right.
So should I say it in English?
Yes,
فارسی.
yes, sure, you should.
So بهترین لوکیشن برای خود من اینه که خب چون بستگی داره به چیزایی که دوست دارین و کارهایی که تو زندگیتون انجام میدین. شما مثلا کسی هستین که برای من جایی خوبه که نزدیک چیز باشم، نزدیک تریل باشم و پارک باشم و بتونم واک کنم و بیرون پیاده روی کنم، و نزدیک خب جاهای خرید خونه، گروسری شاپینگ و مال باشم، به خاطر که 2 تا دختر دارم، دوست دارم نزدیک مال باشم، چون خریدی چیزی که داشته باشن سریع میتونم برم تو مال اونا بردارن یا بذارمشون بعدن پیکاپشون کنم. و چیزی که خیلی دوست دارم نزدیک چیزای گروسری های بزرگ باشم، مثل هول فود، تریدر جوز یا اینکه کاسکو، چون من بیشتر شاپ هایی که میکنم تو اونجاست و برای من راحته که همونجا نزدیک خونم باشه که دیگه نباید برم دور. وقتی میرم سر کار از اونجا یه استاپ میکنم که دوباره برم خونه، یا اگه چیزی کم بود دارم بتونم سلیاسه یه دونه استاپی بکنم و بگیرم برم. And also I was thinking the great thing about having a home close to your work, it's a great thing because like I live in Almaden and then I work in Silver Creek. It just only take me 15 minutes to come to work. So it makes it's more friendly and it's nice to be close to your home. What do you think?
Yeah, of course. It's always nice to be close to where you work. It's amazing. But sometimes I have some client who just started.
Yeah, exactly.
They're willing to buy a home far away,
right.
so it's cheaper.
Right.
But at least they started with a home, right?
Right. That's
so
correct.
that's really amazing. So when we buy a home, at first, some home buyer, we should look at the budget,
right?
Like how much money. So in order to do that, we talked about this a while ago, that you need to get a pre-approval, right? So contact Nega or myself to get a pre-approval, so you know exactly how much you qualify for, so that you know what kind of home you look for, right?
So MC usually will do the pre-approval for you, and then later on I can tell you, I will take you to see different places. As MC said, that the best thing you need to do the pre-approval first and then we go from there. So برای اینکه بهترین چیزی که باشه اینه که شما اول باید پری اپرووال کنه MC و به اون پولی که به شما میگه که شما میتونید افورد کنین و بخرین و بر اساس اون میریم. همینجوری که MC گفتش بهترین فرست تایم هوم بایر بهتره که استارت کنه از پایین شروع کنین و بهتر برین بالا و هر چیزی که دوست دارین بخرین و اینا.
Thank you. So yeah. So when we buy home, right, we have to know how much we can buy. If you say I have 5% down payment, and then after you get pre-approval and you pre-approve for $1 million value, that's amazing. So that when you say, hey Nega, I can buy something $1 million, can you find home for me? And then of course Nega will sit down with you, see what area you want to buy. So you have to be specific on what area, because there are so many zip codes, right? 95125, 95121, 95127, so many. You have to narrow it down to really where you want to live in.
Right.
So at the beginning you might say, I don't mind, that's easier. Then they're gonna give you some suggestion, like which area have more home that in your home price,
right.
So that she can take you there and show you those home. Because for example, if somebody say I only qualify for $1 million, but I want to buy home in the 95135, and that's gonna be really hard to buy because that area is expensive, right? So you will have to know what is your budget,
Right.
and you have to know where you really want to go.
Right.
When you live, you want to live or buy a house, so it's easier for you and for your agent to find the home of your dream when you know what you want.
So basically, they should stay with their budgets because sometimes it's hard. Like for example, for me, I like to be in a nicer zip code, but when I cannot afford it, it doesn't make any sense to kill myself for different reasons. Or maybe you cannot afford that kind of stuff, then you have to go down square footage. So it depends what they think. But if they cannot afford it, then there's no point of looking at those areas, right?
Exactly.
So وقتی که امسی میگه درستم میگه که وقتی که شما پری اپرووتون میکنه، اون قیمتی که میگه بهتون سقفشو، از اون پولی که میگه شما نباید بالاتر برین و براتون مشکل ایجاد میشه، چون چیزای مختلفی هست میتونی بر اساس اون زیپ کدایی که بر اساس پری اپرووال، اون زیپ کدا رو من میتونم بهتون بگم چه زیپ کدایی هست که میتونین افورد کنین بخرین و بیشتر از اونم نخرین، چون مطمئناً براتون سخت میشه و گرفتاری بعدها براتون ایجاد میشه.
Yeah. So thank you, Nega. So basically, I think most important part is how much you qualify, how much you afford to buy, and then what area you want to buy, and like how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, what kind of house do you like. Normally I know you know exactly what you want. Like I want a small backyard front yard, I want a big backyard front yard. You know what you want, and then you will tell Nega everything you want.
Right.
So that's really important when Nega understand what you want for your dream home, so she can look for exactly what you want. Right?
Exactly. So it depends with how many people they're gonna live in your home. So probably some people they work from home nowadays, so then you need an extra room. Then some people they have a child at home, then they need an extra room, or they have a nurse that take care of that child. So you guys gonna let us know what is your lifestyle, so we can look, and also MC is gonna check your affordability. Then we go from there, and you tell me what you need. And also if you have a kid going to school, then
It's important
to be in a nicer zip code because of the school, so it's worth it. You don't go back and forth. So بهترین کار اینه که همونجوری که امسی گفتش، بهترین کار اینه که شما واقعا بدونین که چه خونه رو میخواین و چند نفر تو اون خونه زندگی میکنن و کارتون چیه. بستگی داره. الان بعضی اوقات که خیلی آدما از خونه کار میکنن، سو یه اکسترا روم برای کارتون، برای یه اتاق زیادتر برای کارتون احتیاج دارین، آفیس لازم دارین. بعضی اصلا خب بچه دارن و مدرسه میره و بعد یه اتاق بچه لازم دارن، کسی هست که بچه رو نگه میداره، اتاق اضافی دارن. بعضی اصلا دوست ندارن دستشویی توالتشون رو با کسی شیر کنن، خب اونم یه چیز دیگه است. بعد دقیقاً لایف استایلتون خیلی مهمه، چجوری میخواین زندگی کنین و به ما که بگین، ما بر اساس اون که پری اپرووتون میکنه و لایف استایلتون رو بگین، ما اون خونه که به دردتون بخوره رو انتخاب میکنیم. And then we were talking about this last time that they should pay somebody to check the home before they buy, because there's too many things. Maybe it's
inspection.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that part. When it comes, we talk more about it. But right now, I want more thing before I wanna share with you one more thing. Because if somebody first time home buyer, we talk about first time home buyer, right? Because of what first time home buyer, normally we have a budget. It's limited. It's not like unlimited,
they
right? Because of the limited budget, it kind of, you cannot really buy a property in the location you want. It might be anywhere.
Right.
But here is important. The location, okay, you buy any location that match with your ability, your price range.
Right.
So that's good. But one thing, when you buy a house, the property, you already know the location, that location already. But the property itself, make sure the property do not have things that really hard to sell later. For example, if it's right next to a big electric pole, then it's really hard to sell later because people might not like that thing.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you have to pay because you know you buy the home temporarily. You're gonna sell it in 2 years, 3 years later. you don't want to buy a house where it has things that gonna stop you from selling it or make or it may help. You have to buy something that is easier for you to sell.
Right. Even though the traffic, like there is a lot of noise of traffic, then it's harder to sell.
Exactly. So more.
Yeah.
You can share more.
MC دقیقا درست میگه، برای اینکه خیلی از خونه رو میبینین که یه پل داره برای برقشون گذاشتن و خیلی سخت‌تر میشه این خونه رو فروخت، یا اینکه میبینین که این خونه هایی هستش که خیلی صدای زیاد داره، تو خیابونه. خب اینا رو نباید، سعی کنین این چیزا رو نخرین مگه اینکه واقعا دیل خوبی باشه بتونین مثلا بعداً بفروشین، برین نتونین دیگه چیز دیگه بخرین، بازم بهتره رنت کردنه. ولی در واقع اینه که بهتره که این کارا رو، این چیزایی که میخرین درست بخرین که برگشت پولی هم که سودی که ببرین راحت تر میتونین بفروشین. So different, exactly, that was a very good point. Because a lot of people, they don't buy homes with these big poles or a lot of traffic and things like that. It's
like
it's a great
you mentioned with the noise. For example, if the house right next to the train station, right?
Exactly.
Then the noise day and night.
Right.
People will, like when you resell the house in the future, it's really hard to sell, right? Because some people they say they like the house but they don't like the noise.
Right.
So or some people they like the house, they don't like the electric pole.
Right.
Or even the shape of the house, like some, because normally the roof is like this,
right.
But if you buy a flat roof, it's really hard to sell.
Some people they don't like it.
Yeah, so you can explain.
So دقیقاً همین چیزی که امسی میگه، گاهی اوقات هم میبینی که سقف‌های خونه ها صافه و اینجوری صافه به جای که شیپش اینجوری باشه، مثل مثلث‌طوری باشه و باعث میشه که خیلی خونه رو نخرن. I think right now in California some people, the modern ones, they do it like that, but we don't have any snow or any that much
But depend on the style of the house too.
Right.
If it's modern and if people would like to buy it, then it's different.
Yes.
But if like it's really old style and then it's look very ugly, then
some people they prefer to have a different angles. بهتره که به قول امسی دقیقاً بهتره شاید که استایلی که میگیرین اگر صاف باشه ممکنه نگیرن، خونه رو دوست نداشته باشن، برای فروشش مشکل پیدا کنین و اینا. And I think the good thing about visiting, if they plan to buy something, they should visit this home a few times like in the morning you visit it, afternoon, and see how it looks like in the morning,
the neighborhood,
night.
I see. So what Nega is trying to share is if you like the house already, you might want to be there in the morning, in the afternoon, like after work, to see is that very crowded neighborhood or not? Because when it's too crowded, you don't like it, right?
Exactly.
But again, sometime because of your budget, you might end up buying a place where it's a little bit crowded. But if you can stand it, then you go buy it. If you don't, then find something better.
Right.
Even though with your price range, it might lower when you do the first time home buying. But you can still find better area, right? So do pay attention to the location. If you buy, remember when you buy a home, you can fix inside,
right?
But you cannot fix the outside. You cannot remove the electric pole, right? It's really hard, and you cannot remove the train station,
right? Exactly.
So it's the house inside can be ugly, but we can remodel it to make it prettier,
right?
But the outside of the house where we cannot do anything.
Right. So واقعا اینجوریه که وقتی که میخواین خونه بخرین به بیرون خونه خیلی توجه کنین، برای اینکه وقتی بیرون خونه رو نگاه میکنین هیچ چیزی رو نمیتونین تغییر بدین. مثلا اگه ترین بره، مثلا قطار اونجا رد بشه، یا یه پل مثلا برق باشه و اینا نمیتونین تغییر. ولی خونه رو خب اگه دوست دارین، منطقه‌شو دوست دارین، توش اگه چیزایی دوست نداشته باشین، بازم میتونین تغییرش بدین. و بهتره که خیلی توجه کنین که وقتی خونه میخواین بخرین تمام این نکات رو فالو بکنین و توجه بکنین که چون خونه خریدن همونجوری که میدونین چیز ارزونی نی و هر دقیقه ما نمیتونیم عوض کنیم. معمولا بین 2 سال تا 5 سال هستیم تو اونجایی خونه‌ای که میخریم و بعد دوباره میخریم خونه جدیدمون رو. So the best thing is for them to take a look at whatever we go over, because buying a home is not cheap, and we don't keep buying homes. We usually keep buying homes like maybe every 2 years or 5 years we replace it. So it's good to talk about these things, otherwise it's going to cost us a lot of money.
Exactly. One more thing I just remember, like if you buy a house and that house is like in the not in like if the house is like at the end of the street, right, and car driving, the headlight always point at the house, those house is really hard to sell
The
later
T-shaped one, right?
the T-shape, yeah, T-shape,
Right.
yeah, it's really hard to resell those
Right.
house.
Yes.
So if you are a first time home buyer and you buy home, you're thinking of you're gonna resell it later, try to stay away with all the things that we just talk about, so that you buy a house where it's easier for you to resell.
دقیقا همین چیزی که امسی میگه، وقتی که خونهایی هستن که ته خیابونن و این خیابون اصلیه و وارد روبروی خونه هستش، وقتی وارد خونه میشه نورش میره خوره به پنجره شما و خیلی از آدم ها اینو دوست ندارن و نمیخرن. بهتره که تو این نکاتی که ما به شما گفتیم حتما توجه داشته باشین و واقعا مطمئن بشین که چیزی که میخرین درسته.
So before we go, one last thing, in the Bay Area, most of the home is really mostly easy to resell.
Right.
But there are city further away from here. There are some city the home price is so cheap, but the future value is not going up a lot. Meaning, if you buy like $400,000, 5 years later it's $450,000.
Yeah.
So it's not going up a lot. But in the Bay Area, if you buy something 4 years later, it's went up a lot. You know.
Right.
So pay attention to those locations. Like if you because when you buy your first home, your intention is to build equity, right? You want to buy something 1 million now, 5 years later you sell it for 1.5, 1.7 million dollars. So you have that equity that you build during the time you own this first home. You use that equity to buy your next home, so you can buy a bigger home later. You don't want to buy an area where 5 years later you only make $50,000 or $100,000. Then you still struggle buying your next home.
Right. Unless they're very young and they would like to drive and they cannot afford it, right?
Yeah.
Or
yes,
paying
but
rent
even
so much
when
money.
we buy far away, some areas the price still go up very good.
It goes, yeah.
So we have to. So in order for you to know which area is the best area to buy, even though it's far away from here, affordable, you talk to Nega because she a pro. She know exactly what area gonna give you better home appreciation.
So you're gonna get your money back later on. You need to make sure you buy something in that zip code so it's easier to sell and you make money out of it.
Right.
So بهتره که واقعا وقتی که یه خونه میخرین بر اساس این چیزایی که ما بهتون گفتیم، تجربه‌ای که داریم بهتون گفتیم که شیر کردیم باهاتون که بتونین یه خونه بخرین که هم پول دارین، هم که رنت ندین، همین که براتون بعداً سودم داشته باشه. Thank you so much, MC, for your time. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate your time too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank
and
you.
I hope everybody enjoyed today's show, and I hope it benefits you in so many ways. And if you have any question, please call Nega. What's your number?
Yeah, 408-981-9441, and MC is going to help you with your loan.
So my loan number and my phone number is 408-393-2068. Thank you.
Thank you for following us. We really appreciate you.
Bye.
Bye.